I love this song. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Thank you for joining us for another Sunday stream live on Twitch. Hopefully you can all hear me loud and clear. If not, please let me know and I can adjust. I'm just checking my settings now and it looks like we should all be working fine. So welcome again to the Sunday Noob Gamers live Twitch stream. Tonight we're bringing you another race on Project Cars 2. It's some vintage Le Mans action this evening. It's an endurance race. It's 75 minutes long. We have two classes. We've got multiple weathers. We've got amazing tracks, amazing cars, which should hopefully make for a very exciting race overall. Good evening, those of you who have joined us in the chat. Good evening, Trevor Hump. How are you this evening? I hope you're well. Hopefully you're here to cheer on the regular Noob Gamers races. But yeah, it should be a really exciting race tonight. Something a little bit different, you know, a little bit of class to proceedings. Hence my, you know, little bit of a classy get up here. But hey, you know, you've got to make an effort for these things. Because of course, you know, we want to make this stream as good as it can for you boys and girls. So wherever you're watching tonight, whether it's on your mobile phone, whether it's on your tablet, whether it's on your big screen TV, wherever you're joining us live this evening, we really appreciate the support and hopefully you'll stick with us through this entire event as we bring you another exciting race on Project Cars. Let's have a look and see how everyone's doing at the moment in the race. Obviously we need to turn on this bad boy behind me, the Megatron screen, to give you a little flavour of how this track and how the cars look. So let's do that now. So there we go, the Megatron has been turned on behind me. You can see the cars zooming around the track. It's a fantastic circuit we've got for you this evening. The cars, you know, the vintage cars they're racing as well. Everything's just hotting up for what should be a really, really good race. So we're on board now with T-Mac. We'll give you the full view on the older Megatron now. So there we go. As I said, we're on board with T-Mac. He's of course a Class A racer this evening. So as I said earlier, we've got two classes today. So just to explain for those people who haven't perhaps experienced this type of racing before, we've got Class A, which is some really high-speed, fast cars, and we've got Class B, which are a little bit slower. Oh, someone's gone wildly off the track. I don't know who that was. So yeah, a little bit slower in Class B. However, the key to this tonight is unlike races before, where you might have some back markers getting involved and people have to move out the way. The rules of the game tonight are very different. As a Class B racer, yes, you don't have the pace to keep up with the Class A cars. Obviously, you've got your own leaderboards. You can come top of Class B and essentially win the race. But the key tonight is the Class A drivers will have to fight their way through the Class B racers who'll be racing as normal. They shouldn't move out the way. They actively shouldn't move out the way. Because, of course, with the high speed that the Class A cars will be driving at, if a Class B racer moves off of the racing line, and starts, you know, getting into places where they perhaps shouldn't be because of the high speed of the Class A cars, it could cause some incidents. So the Class B drivers are told stick to the racing line and it's up to the Class A racers to get round you. So with a 75-minute race, that could be happening a lot. So it's an extra little bit of information that those racers this evening are going to have to contend with. Not only that, we have a full day to night cycle across the 75-minute race. So we're going to see bright sunshine all the way into the dark. And finally, we also got 4 different weathers. Now, I'm reliably told as soon as the night time comes, that's when the rain's going to hit in. So that should make for just another thing that the racers have got to contend with this evening. So loads for them to think about, which unfortunately means loads for me to think about as well. But what it should do is make for a really entertaining spectacle for you guys on your Sunday night as you chill in for the week ahead. So again, thank you for joining us here. So let's get the now we've had those exclamation you know what I'm trying to say out the way. Let's bring on the older. We'll get the sounds going now. As we can see, the circuit is looking lovely. Loads of elevation up there for T-Mac. We're just going to stick on board with them for a little bit longer so you can just see this track in full now. If we pop the map on very briefly, as you can see, there are some hefty long straights. The main straight down this side, that T-Max just about to hit now, so he's just hitting this main straight now, is 3.7 miles long. 3.7 miles long, which is unbelievable. And if we pop on the speedo now, we can really see the pace of these cars going down this straight. So, we're well over the 200 miles an hour mark and rising. As T-Mac cruises down this final straight here. So, with these sort of pace down this straight, as we know with the Class B races, they simply can't compete. So, look at this. We're sort of approaching 240 miles an hour. So the braking at the end of this corner, because the corner at the back is really, really tight. So they're going to have to go really hard on the brakes to do that. So let's just see the pace that T-Mac has to slow down to on this final corner, just to give you an experience of what it's going to be like racing this. And with a 75-minute race, the racers are really going to have to keep their concentration this evening, otherwise it could spell for a disaster. So look at that, straight down under 40 miles an hour. So we're going from 240 to 40 miles an hour in the space of a number of seconds. So the brakes are going to have to be really, really tight this evening to make sure there's no incidents around there. So let's jump on board with a Class B racer. We're going to see what Mr. Salt is just going to go down that same straight as well. So it will give us a really good opportunity for us to appreciate. He's just jumped in the pits. That's annoying, isn't it? Let's see if we can jump on board with another. Here we go. So this is another Class B racer going down this final straight now. So let's see the speed that they get up to. We know from a Class A racer they're hitting the 240 mark. So this will give us a really good gauge just to see the difference in the two cars. And at the moment, that difference, as I said, it's looking vast. I wonder how close we're going to get to the Class A speeds. These cars are pretty fast, but I think at this point we can safely say it's struggling to get anywhere near the 200 miles an hour mark. They might just get there by the end of the straight potentially. So we're talking a good 40 miles an hour difference in speed this evening between the two cars down that straight, which obviously is going to make a massive difference to the ability of the Class B racers to keep up with the pace of the Class A. So we should see a really split standings, Class A at the top, Class B at the bottom. But of course, as you can see from the variety of numbers you see on the left hand side of the screen, there's going to be two leadables this evening for me and you to contend with. So loads going on this evening, and as I said, it should make for a fantastic race overall. So I'm just going to see who's in the lobby for potentially some chats this evening to see how we're looking. So I think everyone's pretty much joined. So yeah, we're up to 22 races so far. I think there's still a few more to join us. We've got just over 5 minutes left of practicing to go. But yeah, 22 races around this track for 75 minutes. As we see a little bit of a spin there, but he's managed to hold on to it. And that's really, really good. So we're going to jump into the Smoking Axles team chat with T-Mac and Seb. We'll jump in with those boys now and see how they're going this evening. Good evening, Smoking Axles.
How are we?
Hello, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you both?
Yeah, excited.
Yeah, feeling good.
Good. So we've just given a demonstration on the chat, on the stream, of the difference in speed between the Class A and Class B cars. Down that the long straight that's been discussed a few times. We saw there's about a 40 miles an hour difference, which is obviously, significant. So for the Class A drivers to get around the Class B ones tonight, it's going to add a certain extra challenge for you boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep our wits about us.
I've been noticing it just now in this practice session. Driving past these Class Bs is something scary. We're going to have to be hoping they're looking in their mirrors, because we are coming by them quickly.
Yes, exactly. And obviously, as I've explained to people, there's no reason for them to get out of your way this evening, because ultimately that could cause more incidents. So you guys have got to drive pretty well to avoid them, but also keep up with your competitors around you as well.
Sure.
It's absolutely
WEC style, isn't it? It's down to the faster categories to make sure they get round them.
Yeah, and how much of a difference do you think that is going to make this evening to the standings for the Class A drivers?
I think it's a skill. It's a skill in, can you navigate the traffic well, or are you going to lose time and time every time we get round to them? Because I think it's roughly like 30 seconds, like time difference in terms of lap time. So we should get around to them every kind of 6 laps. So if you lose loads of time every time you jump into a lap car, you're going to struggle. So I think it's the skill of getting past them, timing it right, and just being patient because it's a long race.
Yeah, exactly that. And we're just on board with you now, Seb.
Good
cars
stuff.
themselves. We've got a
Goodness
spin in front of you there. I have to say, the cars themselves, we knew it already, but just seeing them go around the track look amazing.
Oh, mate, they're fantastic to drive. They look great. They're an absolute pleasure to drive. It's the first time I've actually driven these cars.
Okay.
And I can tell you I'm going to be driving them a lot more in the future. They are great fun. They just feel like they're trying to kid you the whole time.
Yeah. Well, we've just jumped inside your cockpit now, just so we can give the viewers at home the sort of view that you might be experiencing tonight. And as you
Lovely.
said, the track looks beautiful, the cars look beautiful, and surely it adds to your experience tonight having just a nice car to drive.
For sure.
So we're just going to keep on board in your cockpit now and just see how you go around these next few corners. But as you said, T-Mac, as we were chatting earlier, cheeky little hay bales knocking around, proper 1970s vibe tonight. So it's certainly something different for the viewers at home to watch this evening.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like as Seb touched on, the cars are like nothing else for most of us because we all are kind of GT3 touring car Clio type vibe. These are just so different. The speeds are ridiculous, and the brakes when you get to the end of the straight, like we're braking at 400 meters away from the corner, so you think you're gonna stop, and then you let go of the brake because you're like, I broke way too early, and then you just carry on going. So, and then you hit a hay bale, and then it adds some fun to the viewers. So,
I mean, we were watching you earlier, and you went from 240 to 40 miles an hour in the space of a few seconds. So, they do quite a good job, the brakes, to slow you down when you need to. But if you mistime that,
exactly.
There's going to be some trouble, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. You missed it by 50 meters, you're going straight on and losing 10, 15 seconds trying to turn. And they're slow speed. These cars are like boats. They're not fun. So.
Yeah, we can see Seb trying to turn there, and it's certainly not the smoothest turn in the world.
I'm fighting.
But it's
a
nice.
battle.
But yes, thanks for a quick chat with you boys anyway, just to give the guys at home something to think about for this evening's race. With practice finishing soon, I'll leave you to it, and good luck for the race ahead.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Catch you in a bit.
Enjoy. So there we go, there's a chat with the racers themselves to give you a little bit of an insight of what they should be experiencing this evening. As we said, we go inside the cockpit of Seb's car now, and the cars look beautiful, the tracks look beautiful, but look at that, I mean, they've really got to fight around those corners. We were up on the hay bales there with the car in front. Let's see if Seb can keep it nice and steady around this corner, but yeah, a little bit of a skid there as well. So I mean, it is all kicking off this evening, to be fair. It's going to be, I would be very surprised if we get around this entire race without any incidents. So let's see who we got on the chat. Thank you for joining us this evening. Nemorius Gaming, Trevor Hump's obviously in there as well. Rolfie87 joins us this evening as well. So all the usual suspects knocking around the chat room this evening. Hopefully, if you're just lurking in the background enjoying the watch tonight, hopefully you enjoy the race as well. So yeah, just under 30 seconds left of practice now. We'll jump back onto the old trackside cam just to give you another look of what we got here. We'll jump on board with a Class B racer. Let's see if we can find one knocking around the track just to see. There we go, there's one. Wallen Sokje, if I say that correctly, really nice looking car there. So as I said, this is a Class B racer. Wallen is currently top of the Class B in terms of the lap times this evening. So he could be a contender in the Class B. Because of the amount of races we've got on the track this evening, it's new cars to them, new tracks to them, new races to the stream as well. So there's going to be some new people that we don't necessarily know too well this evening as we're going around. So lots for us to learn all together, hopefully, as we navigate this interesting and diverse race that we have upon us this evening. So here we go, he's going down that main straight now. We can't quite see the speedo because of the race complete thing, but as we saw earlier, they're clocking up speeds of around 200 miles an hour down that large straight, which is 40 miles an hour less, but not bad at all. So again, in the chat we've got Ilium, where the hump, surely fresh off your cruising victory. You've been favourites for this, but they've not got the mod, same as Ilium, to be fair. Yeah, this is an extra DLC for Project Cars 2, which has made a few people not able to enter, but just from looking at it myself right now, it looks like a fantastic DLC to have. So I'd certainly recommend people jump on board and grab that if they have the opportunity to. So most people in the pits now. Obviously Roy Klotz we've seen on the stream before. We've got Cheeky One Smack we've had on the stream before. Johnny Wonder again, he's appeared on the Sunday races. So a lot of the usual suspects in and around, with a few new people join in. So let's have a look at the overall timings here, and we can get a view of who we've got to contend with this evening. So we got Seb H, we got T-Mac, Don Tito returns, Johnny OneNet returns, we got Wallen Sockchain, Mr. Salt, the favourite from Noob Gamers on a Thursday, YX is in the stream as well this evening, Razand Snell Freddy, that's definitely a new one on us, so currently in 8th place overall Class B racer this evening. We got VXR Thrasher, Mad Knife, he's told me off about that tonight, Mad Knife, not Mad Knife, a regular racer on our Thursday stream. Langalang, again we've seen him before. Berserk, we've seen him before. Invertigo and Rob3 from the Thursday stream join us for the Sunday stream as well. We've got Callie, we've got Roy Klotz, we've got an autistic deer, we've got Flask, we've got Blast, we've got Bibby 1303, Cheeky One Smack, and Area Motorsport. And that is your race field this evening. As you can see on the left hand side of their name, you've got the classes for them as well. So lots for us all to contend with this evening. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go overall myself, but as a minimum I made sure I look good this evening. That's all I can do, that's all I can control. What I can't control is the racing in front of me and how this is all going to go, but there's only one way to find out how it's going to go, and that's to stay live with us here on Twitch as we bring you this exciting Le Mans race live to your television screens at home. So there we go, there's the standings. We're just waiting for everyone to come in now, ready for the race to start. So 22 racers speeding around this track this evening for a 75-minute endurance race. It's certainly going to be interesting. So we're into qualifying now. It's an opportunity for the racers to get themselves in an all-important decent position on the track for the race start. Now only 15 minutes, obviously it is a long track, so unlike the Thursday stream there should be some more space for the racers this evening. There shouldn't be as much clumping around to really get in the way of qualifying, so you think in theory the racers should have an opportunity to put down a decent time. You pronounce Wallen Sockchain pretty well actually. Basically it means woolen sock made out of wool. Nice, so I've got it right. And thank you Bob Hump. I try to look sexy every time I'm on the stream as much as possible. So yeah, as you've said Trevor Hump on the chat, it is going to be chaotic. That's simply all we can say. I really don't know what to expect this evening. It's a really long race, but with 2 classes, loads of overtaking going on, we're surely going to see loads of thrills and spills throughout. So thank you. You can see the pace straight already there. T-Mac overtaking a B class, making it look really easy. So that's the pace difference this evening we should see. And as he said earlier, every 5 or 6 laps, it should, in theory, assuming you're racing well, there should be an opportunity to overtake a Class B racer. So there should be lots of overtaking going on. Might see a few bits on the corners as well. But if they, if they're clever about it, they should really save it for the straights. But who knows what the race tactics are going to be this evening. So yes, good luck to everyone. The GT40s are quick in the B class. Let's see if we can jump on board with the B class racing out. Oh, it's a lovely colour car, has to be said. Lovely dark green. I mean, I do love these cars. The look of them, they do look amazing. I know it's DLC, and it's a little bit of extra money if you've already purchased the full price of this game. But you have to say it's some really special cars that they're going to be racing in this evening. Nice little Ferrari there, just going around. Berserker 013. Looking really, really good. So he's in a B class. We got Langalang in a B class. We got VX Thrasher in a B class. I mean, look at the state of these cars. Look at that. So we got a big incident behind us as well. Oh, all sorts of aerodynamics. He's just pulling over here to the hay bale. Look, he's obviously wanting to get the cameras. No, I made that up. Obviously, he's going in the pits, but looked like the cameramen were just giving him a cheeky little slap. But good evening, everyone. This evening, we're 12 minutes into qualifying. No one's obviously posted a lap yet because the lap times are around 3 minutes this evening. But we should see the field start to sort itself out in the next few minutes. So thank you for joining us at home. Just looking on the chat again this evening, Mr. Salk's obviously joining us. Welcome to the stream this evening. Gouch BB gives us a little wave. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us this evening, and hopefully you enjoy what we have in store for you this evening. Let's try and jump on board with a racer we haven't been on board with. Let's go with we'll go with Autistic Deer. Not quite sure about the name myself, but hey, each to their own. If that's what he wants to be called, that's entirely up to him. So we'll stay on board with him for a little bit as he goes down this straight now. Again, really nice car, it has to be said, but lots of invalidated lap times popping up in the race feed so far, but the fastest lap has been set, although it's not appeared on the board yet. You're going to have to apologise with me this evening. I am going to be all this talking for me to do. I will need a quick drink break every now and again, but I will try and keep up the pace with everything, all the action going on ahead of us as best as I can. Don't think qualifying make much difference tonight. No, you're right. With such a long race, Trevor Hump, it's not going to make a massive difference as Autistic Deer takes a little spin on the corner there. But it's always nice to finish up as high as you can, just so you don't have to fight through the traffic, especially if you're trying to win the race this evening. Get an early lead, as we've seen in the Thursday races, especially. Obviously, the races are a lot shorter, but if you can get yourself ahead early doors and not have some traffic to contend with, it does make life a hell of a lot easier throughout the entire race, so we shall see. So let's have a look at some of the other cars we've got this evening. We've already been on board, we've said before, Blast has got a very similar car. Not many liveries available this evening because of the DLC, but this is a slightly different here from Bibby 1303. We've got Cheeky One Smack as well in a similar car. Area Motorsport in a very similar car as well. Obviously T-Mac, we've seen his car earlier on. So I think we've sort of seen all the Class A cars this evening. The Class B ones, however, I have to say, I do like the look of them just that little bit more. I know they're not quite as quick, but they do have that extra bit of sex appeal from the 1970s vintage look that they're bringing to the table this evening. They really do look the part as Langer Lang makes his way around the corner there. Oh, smashed straight into the wall. So, these cars, I'm told, are incredibly difficult to control, but as we've seen from just being on board with a few of the races this evening there, it's proved to be right, because we've had races going off left, right and centre all over the place. It's harder out front. New game is live, honest, yes. Well, I think you made it look easy when you were out front on the Thursday night stream, but hey, who am I to talk? I'm only on a controller when I race, so I can't keep up with you boys with your wheels anyway. But yeah, lovely looking track, lovely looking cars, and I, for one, am really excited about the race ahead. Lovely H2O. So, Wallen Soccer. Oh, I got a little look at the driver there as well. Nice little driver just sat in the front there. Mr. Salt, everyone's favourite from the Thursday night stream. Let's see what he's got in the locker. Has he gone into the pits again? Every time I jump on with the camera from Mr. Salt, he jumps straight into the pits and doesn't give me the opportunity to actually see him race. So here we go. Let's see if we can jump up with him for a little bit now. People who have joined the stream, we like Mr. Salt from the Thursday stream, so we're going to stay on board and see what he brings to the table. Really nice red car he's driving this evening, and let's see how he handles it around the track. So here we go. Let's jump on board, cockpit view. This is what he's got to contend with. So lovely little Ferrari, everything you'd expect from a Ferrari, looking sexy, but this is the view they've got to contend with this evening. So if you've got a car steaming up your inside or around the outside of you, you really cannot see it unless you've got multiple monitors set up where you can see what's coming on either side of you. You really can't see the mirrors in this view at all. So it's certainly going to be difficult for the racers this evening with cars coming left, right and centre, especially if you're a B-class racer. So it's really important they stick to the racing line this evening, just to give the A-class racers the opportunity to overtake cleanly. Let's see who's on the chat. So we got Rolfie, we got Trevor Hump and Bob Hump all in the chat this evening, having a little bit of a conversation about Bob's spelling. Yeah, welcome guys, I'm looking forward to this. We've had a few times posted down now, so we can see the top 5 already has been set. So we've got T-Mac in number 1, we've got Don Titor in number 2, we've got Seb in 3, we've got Rob 3, who again we know from the Thursday streams. He's in 4th position. Cheeky One Smack currently in 5th. We've got Johnny One Note in 6th. Roy Klops in 7th, and the first Class B racer in Vertigo in Class B to put the first time down. So we can see already the times are starting to be put down now. Not long left, but as we said, we don't think the qualifying will make too much difference, but it is always nice to get as much of a head start as you can as possible, as we're on board now with Don Titor. Again, that corner seems to be causing a few problems for everyone. A little bit of a skid as we go into it, especially when the night falls and the rain starts coming. I mean, these guys are currently driving around in broad daylight in the dry, and we're still seeing people skidding around on the track, going off-road. So as soon as the night comes and the rain starts to hit, I imagine it's going to get twice as bad for the guys racing around this evening. So it's certainly going to be interesting. Now, with just over 5 minutes left of qualifying, as a reminder, you guys at home can trigger replays for any exciting events that you want to see again. All you need to do is put in the chat the exclamation mark and the word replay, which is all one word, exclamation mark and replay. I'll trigger one for you now, although it won't look the most exciting thing in the world. But at least you can get a flavour for how the replays work this evening. So hopefully one should be appearing in the top right hand corner of the screen as you look at it. There we go. So that's the replay mode this evening. So if there is a crash, if there is something, really good overtake, whatever it may be, of course we will try. Oh, that was so close. Of course we'll try and get the replays going so you boys and girls at home can see the action all over again. Don Tito just navigates the chicane nicely there with some decent speed. So nearly half the grid have put down a time so far. So still a lot of races to get their time down. So we've got 10 races so far have managed to put a time down. But yes, as Wolkin Sokje says, the Class A drivers are about 20 to 25 seconds up to 36 seconds, it's race specific, faster than the Class B. So, just as T-Mac said earlier, around the 30-second mark we're looking at in the difference in speed. So it really does make a difference this evening. So let's see if we can, look at that view there. Langer Lang still yet to post a time down. Currently finds himself in 4th position by default. So, not bad, is it? Not bad at all. But yeah, they really do need to start putting some times down now, or maybe they're just binning it off because they know it's not too important tonight. But there's only one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes a severe error going off the track there. But that's what I mean. That's how easy it's going to be in these cars. And as I said, this is in broad daylight with no rain, no problems, and they're all over the place. So I just don't know what's going to happen. And if that rain comes down and starts messing people around like that, we could have absolute carnage out on the track here this evening. So yeah, incredible. It's a long track to stay clean on. Exactly right. Yeah, it's a long race. If we get through 75 minutes with no crashes, I was going to promise something ridiculous then. I won't say it, but if we get through 75 minutes with no crashes, then I'll be, for one, absolutely amazed. Absolutely amazed. So just over 3 seconds left to qualifying. Just 10 people who have put down a time. We know when you're going through qualifying, it only takes a little error, like we've seen from Langer Lang just there, to invalidate your track time. So it can be quite difficult if you're struggling to control the car to put a decent lap time down this evening. And obviously a lot of the grid are struggling with this evening. Pretty much all the Class A drivers have put a time down so far. With the exception of, we've got Callie, who's yet to post a time. And we've also got Blas and Bibby towards the back of the grid at the moment, who have yet to set a fastest lap for themselves. So 3 racers from the Class A there will start towards the back of the grid, because they haven't quite managed to put a time down. So maybe that's a sign for things to come for these boys and girls. Who knows? There's only one way to find out. So we're going to we'll stay on board with Cali and see what they've got in the locker. Nearly a little bit wide. You can let's pop on the old speedo and see the sort of speeds that Cali's doing around this corner. So there's a nice 160. Look how close they go to that barrier there as we come down one of the straights now. So we just pop on the map, we can see they're just going to start coming around quite a long corner into chicane and then into the long, but a little bit of a problem on the track there for Cali to navigate, but luckily didn't get too much in the way. So we should be on board with a lap now. Cali has posted a time, a 3:11, which puts them in 9th place. So at least a time has been recorded there by Cali. Obviously the Class B drivers, Wallin Sokshay there is only 7 seconds behind, which is some unbelievable driving there. Thank you for joining us this evening, Odyssey 1989. I'm not going to say what you've put in the old subscribe link there, although I think it might show you all anyway, and that might be just his chat, so you can see what he's put there. Come join the table this evening, straight in with a profanity. But hey, what else can we expect from Odyssey this evening? But really, really appreciate the subscription there, which of course is absolutely free if you have Amazon Prime. You can link up your Amazon Prime and Twitch accounts together and subscribe to a channel on Twitch once a month, absolutely free of charge. Otherwise, I believe it's $4.99, which, if you're willing to spend $4.99 on a subscription to this channel, that would be ridiculous. Why would you want to spend money on this channel when you can do it for free? But hey, I'm not going to say no, am I? I'm not going to say no. But obviously, Odyssey, thank you for joining us. I've made an effort for you this evening. Gone for the waistcoat, trying to get a bit of a 1970s vibe this evening on the channel. Couldn't find my flat cap in the end, but hey, there's still time in the next few weeks, and we're going to revisit the Le Mans to sort that out and get my attire as it should be. So Cali got something to navigate here. A big slowdown to try and avoid the crash and get around the corner, but nicely done there. So qualifying is starting to come to a close. We still have Bibby from the Class A's yet to post a time. But hey, there's still a little bit of time left. So Bibby, can we see? I don't think there's going to be an opportunity to get all the way around, but we shall see. They've got to do a non-invalidated lap one as well, but we shall see. But Gouch BB, really appreciate the follow this evening. Thank you for joining us on Twitch for the race that we'll be bringing you very, very shortly. Any support for the channel is really, really appreciated. So thank you for joining us and really appreciate the follow. Let's see what people have got to say on the chat then this evening. So we've got Odyssey, is this practice of qualifying? So this is qualifying at the moment. So yeah, not long to go. Mr. Salt has actually managed to join the chat while he's racing. And he says he's messed up on the last chicane and invalidated his current and his next lap. So Mr. Salt has yet to post a time and is unable to post one at all and finds himself just sat in the pits. Unlucky Mr. Salt, but good luck for the race ahead. We've got Ilium saying he can do it. Bob Hunt, I believe in you, Mr. Sockdane, and just ram your way through. That's certainly one way to do it, Bob. Obviously not your star, Bob. You're normally at the front with no one to even bother contending with anyway, so you wouldn't really have that experience ahead of you. But Mr. Salt loves a decent race, getting stuck into the pack and taking people on. So we'll see what he's got in the locker this evening. But we can see already we're slowly getting confirmation of what we should see from the standings this evening. So T-Mac, as ever, top of the leaderboard in qualifying. Really consistent racer is T-Mac. Finds himself in the #1 spot this evening. We got Don Titor in second. Now, interestingly, Bibby was a contender who'd yet to post a time for a very long time, but jumped straight in there with 3rd place. Seb in 4th. We got Cheeky 1 smacking 5th. Rob 3 in 6th. Area Motorsports in 7th. I'm going to have to remind myself of what this one is. Blast is a new race for me in 8th. We've got Johnny OneNote in 9th, Roy Klops in 10th, and Cali in 11th position. That completes the Class A races this evening. On to Class B. We got Wallen Sokje in 12th position overall, but first on Class B. Razan Snell Freddy, I think I'm just going to call them Razan for this evening, finds himself in 2nd place at Class B. We got VX Thrasher still out on the track in 3rd. We got Invertigo in 4th place. We got Langalang in 5th. We got Autistic Deer, I'm always going to laugh at that name, in 6th. We got Berserker in 7th. Mr. Salt in 8th. We got Mad Knife in 9th. 10th now, actually. Just dropped down a place. Autistic Deer has just jumped straight into 7th place, having posted a lap there. And at the moment, Flask finds himself in final position. So there we go. That is all your races this evening. So here are the final standings. What we'll do, we'll just jump on board with the A to start with. So as I said, Don Titor closely behind T-Mac, who finds himself in 1st place. We've got Bibby in 3rd, Seb H 4th, Cheeky One Smack 5th, Rob 3 in 6th, Area Motorsport in 7th, 8th is Blast, Johnny One Note in 9th, and Roy Klops in 10th, with Callie bringing up the rear in 11th place. Looking on to the prototype Bs, we got Wallen Sokje, we got YX, we got Berserker, we got Raz. Let's see if we can jump on the timings quickly and just quickly give you the Bs. So we got Raz in 4th, we got VX Thrasher in 5th, we got 6th is Invertigo, 7th is Langalang, 8th is the Autistic Deer, 9th is Mr. Salt, Mad Knife in 10th, and Flask in 11th. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is your standings for the race ahead. We will have 1 hour and 15 minutes on the clock. A full 75-minute affair for you this evening for your Sunday night entertainment as we bring you this vintage Le Mans race live from Noob Gamers Twitch channel on this Sunday evening. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you're watching it, whether you're just sat on your sofa at home, out with some friends in a restaurant but want to watch the race instead of concentrating on the meal, whatever you've chosen to do this evening. We really appreciate you joining us here for this live Le Mans vintage race, and I for one am very, very excited for what we should see ahead with 22 cars on the grid, a long race ahead of us with 4 different weathers. We've got day and night. It's all going to kick off and go on, and I will do my best to keep up with all the action this evening. But of course, if there's anyone in particular you want to keep up to tabs with while the race is going on, please drop their name in the chat and I will do my best to keep up with it all for you. But we're moments away now from the race start. The engine should be revving up shortly as the race is upon us. So thank you once again for joining us at home. So the chat is going off a little bit here. People are giving a little bit of a dig to Rob 3. We've had a few rage quits on a Thursday night from Rob 3, but hopefully he finishes the race this evening. I'm sure he will indeed. So Odyssey and Rolfie having a great old chat about that. So we're just waiting for everyone to get ready, and there we go. We should start hearing the engines revving up shortly. Excuse me. And we're off. The Class A's making their way down the first straight. We're going to stay on board with T-Mac and see how the action behind him transpires. So we can really see the difference in the cars already. A few little nudges and bumps around that first corner as people battle for positions. A few people have been pushed out wide down this beautiful hill now into a nice little left-hand bend. It's all very clean so far. Someone's been pushed a little bit wide there. But it is relatively clean going into these first few corners. We've already got replays being triggered, so you should see the last 25 seconds of action in your top right-hand corner when it loads in for you guys to see. And we've got a spin there. We've got a spin, and it could cause some carnage. No, everyone's just about avoided that towards the back of the grid. But here we go. We're going down the long straight. As we can see the map now, every single car bar and the one that just spun is making their way down the long 3.7 mile straight as T-Mac gets himself a solid lead to start with. So let's jump further down the pack. We're on board with Cheeky One Smack, who finds himself in 6th position, just nudging a few little cars in front of him. The timings are really, really close, but he does have the pace, so he's moved himself up to 5th there. Great little manoeuvre there. He's just in behind Seb H, who's in 4th place position. But we can see the clock nudging down in times. He's definitely got some pace. Is he going to attack this now? We've got people going off wide, left, right and centre. The Cheeky One Smack makes an attack. Let's see. And we've had someone else spin off the track there. It's not Cheeky One Smack. We're still on board with him because he takes a lovely inside line there. Manages to keep it straight. And he actually finds himself in 1st place. And it was T-Mac of all people to go spinning off the track in front of everyone. And he finds himself down in 7th place position. So already we've seen mistakes from people all over the grid. Cheeky One Smack in 1st position so far. Fair play. Seb close behind in 2nd place so far. Let's have a look at the Class B standings, as Langalang is currently leading the pack as far as the Class Bs are concerned. So well done to Langalang there. He's 11th place overall, but 1st. And we've got some spins going off down there. All kicking off. Roy Klops is up on the sides. As we said, there's so much to contend with for all of us this evening. You guys at home, me here, the races all over the place. We are going to be hard pushed to try and bring you every second of action this evening, but I will certainly do my best as we're on board with Roy Klops. As he pushes Johnny One Note for 4th place position. T-Mac coming up behind them in 6th place. The times between 6th and 5th are closing by the second. We can see T-Mac really making some gains here. So Roy Klops is going to have something to contend with really, really shortly. And there's a car in the road there just spinning. Is anyone going to hit it? No, they've all avoided it really, really well. T-Mac right up behind Roy Klops here. Let's jump on board with Chase Cam and see if T-Mac can make a pass as we go down this straight. Has he got that extra bit of pace? He's going to try and slipstream in here. Let's see if he can do it. Yes, we can see that it's getting really, really, really close. He's going to make a pass now down the outside. Really solid move there from T-Mac. Really, really well driven as we jump back on board with Roy Klops, who loses his 4th place position. So that was some excellent driving there from T-Mac to take 4th place. So the battle is well and truly on for positions as we speak. T-Mac now has the opportunity to attack Johnny One Note, who finds himself in 3rd place position. Less than a second splits the races at the moment as we hit the straight now. So again, if you've got the pace going down this straight, could you come out of that corner a little bit cleaner? Because the straight is so long, although everyone will get up to speed at some point, the earlier you can get the higher speed, the better you will fare into that straight. So we shall see. So Johnny One Note obviously did well coming out in that corner because he's managed to maintain a decent gap over T-Mac in 3rd and 4th at the moment. Let's see how the race is hotting up for the top 2 places. So Seb, we've actually lost Cheeky One Smack. We don't know what's happened there, but he's found himself all the way down to 9th position. So Seb H and Don Tito are currently the top 2 places. Not much time separates them at the moment. So they've had to contend with Cheeky One Smack, obviously flying off the track somewhere there, and they've managed to keep themselves at the top of the grid. So well done to those drivers there. Are we going to see an attack here from Don Tito as we come down this little straight? Let's see. It's really close between them two, but it's such a long race this evening. Who knows what's going to happen? We are going to have to jump back and forth. But as we see a crash, we've actually seen someone spin off now. There's 2 cars spinning everywhere, and it's absolute chaos on the track. Area Motorsport glides through there, but 2 cars off spinning all over the place, and that was absolutely crazy there. We're going to have to watch the replay back to try and see exactly what happened there, but wow, that was a bit of a mess for the cars involved there. So wow, let's just take a breath there. So we're on board with Area Motorsport as Rob 3 looks to attack. So we'll jump on board with Chase Cam and see if he can do just that. So Rob 3 really pushing here to try and get himself up to 4th position. Has he got the pace going into this next corner? But yes, Fred himself, you've joined right at the right time as we had crashed there. And we know Rob 3's got the pace here. Is he going to try and take this position into the corner? He's got the inside line. He's doing really, really well. Can he hold on to it into this corner? We think he's going to do it. Oh, it's really, really close. Really close. As Area Motorsport is pushed out wide, Rob just manages to get himself ahead. But Area Motorsport is pushing again. A little bit of a slide there from Area Motorsport. Keeps it on the track. No, he can't. Loses it just a little bit, which gives Rob 3 some breathing space. So again, you can just see the speeds of these racers in these cars this evening. One little mistake and you can be all over the place. So it's an opportunity for Area Motorsport to attack back now as we go down the opening straight of the track. So I mean, it's all kicking off here, and as I said, we're going to try and do exactly the best we can to keep on board with all the action this evening. We did just see a crash earlier, which made for some great through-in. As Area Motorsport looks like then literally nosed the back there. As Area Motorsport, I thought he was going to pull out and go for the attack. Obviously had the pace, but decided at the last minute not to go for it. So Area Motorsport pushing Rob 3 hard here for 4th place. You can see the gaps are starting to appear between the top few racers. So Don Titor currently holds just under a 3-second lead over Seb H in 2nd place. So as I said, with a long race ahead of us, we could see mistakes playing a key part in this. So Rob 3 has managed to get himself some breathing space over Area Motorsport in 5th position. But it's some excellent racing, although you can see the times just slowly clocking down with Area Motorsport here. So we might see an opportunity before this straight is up for Area Motorsport to overtake here. It's getting really, really close. I think he might do it. Is he going to get there before the corner though? That's the key. Is he going to wait to the corner? No, he's going to knock out on the straight. Really good driving there from Area Motorsport as Rob cuts straight across, and he's trying to strip Selena back, and Rob 3's lost it. Rob 3 has lost it, but it looks like he's managed to keep it on the track. Wow, that was some fantastic driving there from Rob 3 to keep it on the track. It looked as though he had lost it all completely and was going to go spinning, but he's managed to keep his composure and keep it on the track there. Some excellent driving there from Rob 3. Round of applause from everyone. We thought he was going to go all over the place, but keeps it together, as we should see a replay of that coming to you in the top right hand corner. So let's look at the top of Class B now. So Wolfgang Sokje, currently in 3rd place position, has just overtaken Thrasher in 2nd. So really good move there by Wolfgang Sokje in the near the top of the podium places of the Class B. And we could also have an attack on our hands here with Autistic Deer. Now Autistic Deer is catching up Raz in 7th place, 16th and 17th overall. Autistic Deer pulls out wide to make the overtake. It's really clean so far. Let's see if there's an attack back. No, there's not an attack back from Raz, but Raz might try and slipstream him back now. So Raz just in behind, but the slipstream is really, really important down this straight this evening. So it does give you a little bit of an advantage if you are behind, if you're similarly paced. But it was a great manoeuvre there from Autistic Deer to make sure he snapped at that position. And it doesn't look like Raz has got the overall pace to keep up with him as Autistic Deer slowly starts to pull away. But let's jump back higher up the grid. So we're back on board with T-Mac, who now is in 3rd position, and he's making an attack on Seb in 2nd. So earlier on in the race, T-Mac was 5 seconds behind the leader, but is only down to just under 3 now. So some really good driving from T-Mac to start climbing back up the leaderboard after an earlier mistake by him, sent him flying down the standings. So we could see an attack from T-Mac. Let's stay on board with this and see if he has the opportunity to overtake. Although we have lost the driver there, so Seb made a mistake. So you see how easy it is to make a mistake there, and Seb almost just pulls over. Obviously he didn't mean to, but making it really, really easy there for T-Mac. So again, not much contending to do for T-Mac there at all. So this is how we stand at the moment. We've got Don Titor in 1st place. We've got T-Mac in 2nd. We've got Seb H in 3rd. We've got Johnny Wonder in 4th. Roy Klops in 5th. Area Motorsport in 6th. Rob 3 in 7th. Cheeky One Smack in 8th. As we jump on board with Cheeky One Smack now, as the time between really such a shame there from Cheeky One Smack. If we see the markers pop up on these standards which shows the timings are close, so we just jumped back on board with Cheeky One Smack there to see if they had the opportunity to tap, but just went a little bit wide. Let's see how things are hotting up in the Class B. So top of Class B at the moment, Wolfgang Sokje, 10th overall but 1st in Class B, has a really solid lead over Thrasher. We're talking around 5-6 second lead over Thrasher in 2nd, so doing really, really well there. But we're going to jump back on board with Raz. So Raz Currently finds himself 16th overall, but 7th. But a really strong overtake there to get into 6th position. Definitely had the pace going down there. Takes over Flask with ease. So a really solid move there from Rask. Wow. So there we go. We are, I mean, we're just over 10 minutes into the race in entirety. And we've had it all going off already. And we've got no rain and we've got no night. So, I mean, what the hell is going to happen when the weather starts closing in? As we've said many times before, there is only one way to find out. And that is to stay live with us here on Noob Gamers Live. So, we've got some calls in the chat to have a look at Mr. Salt, but we're just going to see if Flask can make an attack here. So there's just over a second between them, but it looks like that distance is going to stay pretty much the same, so we might just have to keep an eye on that in the background. So let's jump on board with Mr. Salt, who finds himself in 12th place overall, but is 3rd in the Class B standings overall. Beautiful red car as he tries to catch up VX Thrasher with YX just in behind there. So a couple of seconds either side of him at the moment for the viewers at home. Looks like he's done some really solid driving from the sounds of it, Odyssey. Must have been keeping an eye on Mr. Salt's times. Apparently he's gone from 8th place in 3rd. So either some really solid driving, some mistakes, or maybe a mixture of both. Who knows? So we're going to jump back on board with Raz now. Oh, Raz again was just about to overtake and gets a spin and is all over the place over the track. Big old spin, big old crash, trying to right himself back on the track. But Raz there losing it his entirety and losing a few places. Hopefully we'll see a replay of that coming up shortly to you guys live at home. But yes, but we've got another opportunity in the Class B now. Invertigo is pushing. Let's see if Invertigo can do it. So we should see a replay there live on your chat. It should be coming to you of that crash. Invertigo just half a second behind at the moment, but he's overtaken again. Autistic Deer has lost it, and we didn't quite see what happened there because of the camera angle, but he is basically nosedived into the wall, which gives Invertigo the opportunity to overtake there. So you just see how difficult it is for you guys racing this evening. Cars are absolutely all over the place, and this is in the dry. So, you know, I just don't know what's going to happen overall. You think the race is going to be nice and straightforward and people are going to stay in their positions, but really it is all over the place this evening. So yes, YXA makes a pass there. He's attacking Mr. Salt here. Let's see if he's got the pace to keep on this assault on Mr. Salt. Great bit of commentary there by myself, if I do say so. And it's their neck and neck going down this straight, and YX takes it from Mr. Salt, but can Mr. Salt attack back here? Let's see who keeps it nice and close in this chicane. Let's jump on board with Chase Cam with Mr. Salt and see if he can get a slipstream going to try and get the place back. So it's some really good driving there from YX, bringing out the dad jokes trade. Yes. Oh dear. So, yeah, you know, Trevor Hunt, yeah, can we get him out of the chat, please? We don't want dad jokes. Yeah, if you could just get him out, just let me know. Cheers. Sorry, I just had to make a call to security there to, you know, cut off Trevor Hunt for his dad jokes there overall. But no, it doesn't look like Mr. Salt has the opportunity. But we are going to jump straight on board with Don Titor. He is pushing for that first place position from T-Mac. The time is closing in between them. So let's stay on board with this attack now. It's only going to take a little bit of a mistake from one of them for the pass to happen. So Don Titor pushing T-Mac really, really hard into the chicane. Both go a little bit wide, but it's some really solid driving there. So Don Titor, he's trying to get the slipstream going if he can, but we know T-Mac generally is a really solid driver and should have some decent pace. So into the little chicane here. Both nice and clean through there as we go down the first straight. But Don Titor is closing here. The time is closing between them. So he's obviously got the pace. Is he going to have an opportunity to overtake as he goes round this bend? Let's jump on board with Chase Cam really quickly and see if he can do this. So he's just biding his time, but you can see how close the timings in between them are. Is it going to be a little mistake which is going to cost one of them a place here? But no, both kept it relatively clean through that. And we have a back marker. Why say a back marker? It's a Class B racer up ahead, and someone spun out, so we don't have the opportunity of them getting in the way, unfortunately. That would have made things interesting as well. So yeah, it's all kicking off here and lots to contend with. Don Titor might try and push it again here. Looks like he's going to. The time is closing. We're going to jump on board with Chase Cam. He's going to make the pass. Here he goes. Don Titor pulls out to the right and overtakes T-Mac with ease there. He's really good driving there. Let's jump straight back on board with T-Mac. He might have the opportunity to slipstream him back and try and wrestle first place back from Don Titor. But it looks like Don Titor has the pace there overall. So really good driving there from Don Titor to take up first place in these beautiful Le Mans cars. So we'll just see a replay of that popping up in the top right hand corner of the screen shortly for you guys at home, as we saw the overtake from Don Titor there. Some really smooth driving overall. So there we go, there's a replay of Don Titor taking up first place position. But T-Mac is knocking on the door still. Not a lot of time separates them at the moment, so we can see how volatile the driving's been from people this evening. You know, it's going to be a little bit wide, it's going to be a little crash, whatever it might be, is certainly going to make things interesting. As we can see, the lights on the cars are on now as the night starts pulling in. And we do have a Class B racer here, so this is going to make things interesting. So first and second place have got to try and get round these Class B racers, so both doing it. So it looks like Don Titor's made the first move round the car there, so T-Mac's yet to follow. Just biding his time, going around the outside, and they're both through. So disappointing for the viewers at home that it was that easy. We were hoping for a little bit more there. But again, there's still another opportunity here for T-Mac to try and take that first place as they go around another B-Class racer. So really solid driving from them both there to make sure that the Class B racers don't get in the way. Take a breath from all that talking. Right, T-Mac. So he is losing time there on Don Titor, nearly up to a second. And we've got a major incident in front of us. And someone's pulled across straight in front of the cars, and I thought that was going to cause more problems than it did, but it didn't. And first and second place fly through, but T-Mac's got the opportunity to overtake, and he does. So he's up into first place. Really good there to avoid whatever happened there. We are going to get a replay of that straight on board for you guys there. But there was a major incident out in front of those guys there, and they've done ever so well to avoid that. So we're just going to watch the replay now. So I'm going to have to try and keep my eyes on both. So Don Titor is going to make another attack around this corner here. Let's jump on board with Chase Cam as he goes down the outside. Some really excellent driving from the top two. So Don Titor's got the inside line going into this corner. Really good on the brakes. Is he going to keep it clean? Yes, he is. So we'll jump back on board with T-Mac, who finds himself in second place after another overtake from Don Titor. So it's all action here. We're 20 minutes into the race, and the battle for first place is well and truly on. Both racers here are going for it as T-Mac slingshots himself out of that corner, and again has the opportunity to overtake Don Titor. So it's yo-yo time here for first and second place as both racers are simultaneously overtaking each other left, right and centre. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is hot enough to be an amazing race. And he's going for it again. T-Mac's gone for it again. No, I can't even, it's left, right, you know, first, second, it's all going off here. So they are absolutely neck and neck here. If this continues for 55 minutes, this is going to be one of the most intense races we've had on this stream for a very long time. So currently T-Mac in second place position. We've got some Class B cars getting in the way now as the night falls. So they overtake the first one with ease, but we could really do with one on a corner here just to see how they both... Look at this bunch in here. So we've got 4 cars. Oh, and there's a knock! One of the oh my days, one of the B classes has taken out Don Titor, and he is not going to be happy with that. So he has to give up his place there. The Class B driver, oh, he gets smashed into by someone else in the back. Oh my God, it is all going off here. So, I mean, I'm trying to keep on board with everything we can, and we're doing our best, but it is fantastic spectacle we've got this evening. Wow, wow, wow. So T-Mac in second, Don Titor in first place. They're driving around, keeping really nice and close, trying to get out the way of these B-class racers. But it is all kicking off over the track. Whew, wow. So the night is falling, the lights are on. And we've got one of the B-classes getting stuck in the wall there. You just see how easy it is with the pace that these cars go at. to do that. So, but I'm just looking on the chat, and there seems to be a problem with Mr. Salt. Might have dropped a place there down to 4th place position. But we've got to stay on board for this leadership race in 1st and 2nd at the moment. It's so difficult to take your eyes off the action we've got in front of us here. We've had crashes, we've had mistakes, and we've had it all go. There's another mistake there. So Don Tito smashes into the side, which gives T-Mac the opportunity to overtake, and he does so with ease. So again, just a tiny little mistake there from Don Tito, and he gives up 1st place position. So, oh my God. Wow. This is going to be an intense race from start to finish if this is the sort of action we're going to have throughout. So thank you for joining us at home if you're live with us here on Twitch as we bring you this vintage Le Mans race for your Sunday entertainment viewing. So I think that mistake has really cost Don Tito now. Nearly 2 seconds between them with a Class B racer, nearly getting in the way of T-Mac there. But again, we can see the sparks flying from Don Tito's car, so he must have gone wide again there, and it gives T-Mac the opportunity to open up the gap. Wow. I mean, I think you'll agree with me if you're watching at home. This has been some really fantastic racing so far. And now we're into where it should get interesting. The night is falling, and the rain should start kicking in at some point as well. So I mean, it's gonna be unbelievable. We've got some flashing lights from T-Mac there. Maybe he knows on the stream and he's getting a little flash, or maybe he's just letting the B class know racer is coming up. So you know, really good sportsmanship there shown from the B class racer. So Don Tito now needs to get round that racer as well. Let's have a look further down the pack. So we're going to jump on board with Johnny One Note, who is in 5th position, although he's just been overtaken by the looks of it by Rob 3 in 4th. So Johnny One Note a bit all over the track there, but it looks like Don Tito has another opportunity to attack here, and he's going to. Don Tito's going to attack T-Mac again here. So really solid from Don Tito. Let's jump on board with Chase Cam, and he's easily in front. So we're back on board with T-Mac. As we go into this right-hand bend, is T-Mac going to have a chance to take his 1st place position back? He looks like he's just about got the pace coming out of that corner, but is he going to capitalise on it? No, not quite. Not quite. So Don Tito keeps his 1st place position out of that corner. Let's jump on board with a cockpit view of T-Mac just to see what the racers are having to contend with this evening. So you really cannot see a lot around you. So if you've got drivers, you know, coming, cars going around you. Oh, and T-Mac span it. He span it. We've got a spin. We've got a spin from T-Mac. He's lost it. We haven't even got him on the camera at all, I don't think. Let's see if we can jump on board with Chase Cam. He's completely in the war himself. Just as we were in the cockpit view of T-Mac there, you could see him fighting with that wheel, and he spins it completely. So Don Tito breathes a sigh of relief, but we have to jump back on board with this battle for 4th place. So Johnny One Note pushing Rob 3 hard here. So Johnny One Note is going to try and make an attack down the straight here, it would seem. So we'll just stay on board with this as Rob 3 tries to fend off the attacks from Johnny One Note. So we can see the replay there. You've probably just seen T-Mac spin himself off the track. So we're trying to keep all the action here for you, keep the replays coming. So thank you for triggering those in the channel. So you guys can see what's going on. So it doesn't look like Johnny One Note's going to attack. We were looking at the times and there was only half a second splitting the two up, but some really good driving there from Rob 3 keeps Johnny One Note at bay for the time being. So we'll head back down into the Class B, and it looks like we've got a close battle for 7th place. So in Vertigo in 15th, Dover Orbit in 7th. He's being hounded by Raz, and just behind them we have Berserker. So it is all kicking off. Let's stay on board with this now and see what happens. Can we see what's going on? So it looks like we've got a really solid overtake there. So Class A has gone past, got the extra speed, but Raz is going to try and make an attack on Vertigo here. So it's really close between the two of them as we go into these corners. So it's just going to be a case of who can keep control of their car best as we go into these next few corners. You can really see the cars are all over the place, and he takes a little bit in the steering to go wide. So we've got some tight corners coming up now as Raz does try and make this attack on Invertigo in 6th place. So he's going to go for the pass here. He's pulled out on the left. He thinks he's got the pace, but Invertigo's pushing hard as they put the brakes on for the chicane. Someone's lost it and had to pull out, but Raz makes it nice and clean. So does Invertigo. So for the time being, Invertigo keeps his position as they start another lap around this track. So despite the length of the track, despite the length of the race, we've got competition all over the shop here. And don't forget, people are pitting at this stage of the competition already. There is a mandatory pit stop, I believe. Is there a mandatory pit? No, there's not a mandatory pit in this one. That's next Thursday. That's me getting confused. But I am told that the Class A's will need to pit at least once. They simply don't have the legs. As Raz spins it nearly, but just holds on. But Invertigo makes a mistake as well, so Raz does take 6th place position from Invertigo. 2 mistakes there, but it looks like we could have a battle higher up the Class B. We're on board with Mr. Salt, who's in 3rd place position at the moment. He's trying to attack VXR Thrasher, who's in 2nd place. So let's stay on board with this action at the moment. Wow, I am struggling to talk for as long as I am at the moment because it is all go, go, go this evening. And there is no time to even take a breath. Welcome to the channel, Sin. We've seen lots of action this evening as I need to take a little bit of drink. But I picked the wrong time to do so as Mr. Salt goes for the overtake. We're going to jump on board with Chase Cam. But he has gone a little bit wide there, but he will have an opportunity to attack. As you can see, the rain has started to kick in, so we're in cockpit mode now with Mr. Salt. The windscreen wipers are going, and as that track starts to get a little bit wetter, we will see some spray as Mr. Salt gets a little spin there, which gives VXR Thrasher the opportunity to lengthen out the lead. So again, you can really see how these little mistakes make a massive difference in these cars. Because they are so quick, it just takes one little slip or slide and you really lose your chance to try and take someone over. So it was really unlucky there from Mr. Salt. So it looks like we've got some decent gaps, which gives us the opportunity to review the standings. So let's just have a quick look of what we've got. So we've got Don Teeter in 4th, T-Mac 2nd, 7th, 3rd, Cheeky One Smack 4th, and Rob in 5th at the top of the Class A at the moment. We just wanted to take a quick break from the action just to see who the top 5 positions were. So well and truly, I think the attack for Mr. Salt on VXR Thrasher is over because yeah, that mistake has cost him dearly. But let's look around some of the other action in the Class B. So we'll jump on board with Invertigo. He's had a right old battle with Raz in 14th place. And let's see if that continues going into these next few corners. As we can see the rain come down. So again, in the cockpit view now, the rain's really starting to hit and taking up some of the space the drivers can see on their windscreens. So what we really want to see is this track get nice and wet. We want to see the spray from the tyres, and that will make things really interesting when you're trying to overtake, especially if you're trying to slipstream someone and you've got all their water flicking off their tyres onto your windscreen. That's going to make some really difficult conditions here for our drivers. But as much as it makes it difficult for them, it should make for some really exciting racing for us, because I imagine that will increase the amount of mistakes we should see, which should see some more overtaking. So it has all calmed down a little bit across the track, but remember, we've still got 45 minutes of the action to bring you this evening, a whole 45 minutes, and we can see the mistakes really make a difference. So we've got a little notification of Mr. Salt making an attack on VXR Thrasher. So we'll jump back on board with Chase Cam, and it looks like a really easy overtake there from Mr. Salt. So really solid to get himself up into 2nd place. But look how sexy these cars look. These 1970s vintage cars. But really good work there. And we got a crash. Whoa, really close there. VXR Thrasher all over the road. YX goes straight into the back of him and he finds himself off the track. So we've got carnage all over the place here. I don't know who that was in the middle of the track causing some chaos, but they weren't able to avoid it as much as we can. And wow, more crashes for you guys at home once again this evening. There was me thinking that this race would be nice and clean, and we've got people bouncing up and down the road there. I think it was Rob. We just got a notification of some overtaking going on there, and we've we've just got carnage absolutely everywhere. So Cheeky One Smack right in the midst of it. We've got someone spinning out in front. Cheeky One Smack. We've got someone coming out wide. We could have a crash, and he's completely blockaded the road there for Cheeky One Smack. Someone's reversing down the track here. Wow, 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 wow. It is all kicking off here. There was me thinking, 75-minute race, really long track. It's all going to be nice and friendly. But no, we've got things going off all over the place. So we're on board with YX. Closely follows Mr. Thrasher, who closely follows Mr. Salt. So we've got a right old ding-dong battle here towards the top of the Series B leaderboard. So we're going to stay on board with this for the time being to see how this transpires. YX has definitely got the pace here on Thrasher, so surely it's just a matter of time before he makes a manoeuvre. So let's jump on board with Thrasher and go trackside and try and see how all three of these racers get round these next few corners. So really solid racing there from the three of them as they go into there. So we're on board with Mr. Salt just so we can see how things are going off behind them. Someone's lost their lights there because of the smashes, so could be really difficult for him. But we could see an overtake here. Yes, we do. Thrasher goes down the inside. You can really see the wetness on the tyres now as we jump on board with Mr. Salt in the cockpit just so we can see. But no, Thrasher's going off either into the pits. Yes, he is. And YX is going on the pits, which gives Mr. Salt a chance to breathe a massive sigh of relief. But wow, time to crack out a cold one indeed, Odyssey. Wow, there we go. Autistic Deer off the track. Berserker, it looks like we have got a 10-second penalty there for Berserker. Finds himself down in 16th place, so he must have been one of the ones causing that carnage we saw earlier. But wow, this has been really, really exciting so far. But let's see how things stand at the top of the leaderboard. So Don Titor is currently the Don and is in first place position. But it looks like we've got some more action lower down the grid as we jump back on board with Invertigo, who is going to attack. So we can really see now. Let's stay on board in cockpit view here with Invertigo as he tries to get the slipstream on. And we've got someone else pitting. So Raz is pitting now, just as we thought we were going to get some competition. There's another pit, but the track is getting wetter. So people are obviously making the decision early to get the wet tyres on to make sure their grip for the rest of the race is as good as it can be. So lots of pit action going on at the moment, either for damage or for wets, who knows. But all we can safely say is it's been a crazy race so far with people. We've had cars upside down, we've had cars sideways, we've had cars driving backwards. We've had it all here this evening, so thank you for joining us this evening. Because wow, but yes, exactly right. As we think back ahead to the action in front of us, and do not write off T-Mac entirely as Don Titor spins and T-Mac takes first place position. So the wet track has caused Don Titor to make a mistake, and T-Mac snaps up first place position with ease thanks to the mistake from Don Titor. So wow, we've caught it just at the right time. We should be getting a replay now direct to your screens, but Don Titor there losing first place position to a really bad mistake. Wow. Now, we've definitely lost some drivers just looking at the leaderboard. I hadn't even noticed with everything going on here this evening. But we've lost 6 drivers. Let's try and work out what classes they're in. So we've only got 8 left of each. So it could be, it was a fairly even split of drivers that we lost for all sorts of reasons. But wow. Lang, we've just had a message through saying his PC crashed. Oh, that's such a bad way to go out the race, so commiserations to Lang. That's really difficult. It's never nice when those sort of occasions occur. But we're on board with Don Titor. This race for first place is incredible. We must have seen more passes in this race than any other race we've covered so far on Noob Gamers Live. But despite the crash, Don Titor has caught T-Mac right up again and is going to have another chance to attack here by the looks of it. So the darkness is well and truly upon us. The track is wet. So without those wet tyres on, if you haven't got the slicks on potentially, you could have all sorts of problems. So Don Titor now just in behind T-Mac. So we'll just stay on board with Chase Cam just for a little bit, just so you can get a flavour of all this, all the things the drivers have got to contend with. You can see the rain lashing down on the cars, the spray coming up from the tyres. There's so much going on. Yeah, Fred himself, it's hard to cover you spinning your head in the middle of the road. Exactly, we've seen cars do that this evening. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, Sin City, maybe we'll have the opportunity to put on another Le Mans race in the future, because I, for one, am thoroughly enjoying this race. Not only the race, but the look and feel of these cars, because of the pace that they bring to the table. There's mistakes all over the place, which, if you get some of the Noob Gamers races in these cars, I'm sure we'd have a really exciting affair. So we thought Don Titor was going to push, but T-Max put some really solid driving down there and has managed to open up the lead to nearly 4 seconds. So T-Mac currently first place on lap 12 with under 40 minutes remaining now of the race. So we've seen it all so far. Maybe it'll start to calm down, maybe it won't, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to stay live with us here on Noob Gamers. So remember how you can get involved at home. We are just going to jump on board back with a race down here. So Berserker in the Class Bs is pushing Mad Knife here. So let's see if this transpires into an overtake. Berserker pushing really hard. If we can get in the cockpit view, here we go. This is what we wanted to see earlier. We can see, and Mad Knife's gone wide, which gives Berserker the opportunity to overtake. And he has. So a mistake from Mad Knife, and it opens the door. Although Mad Knife is going to attack back here. So Mad Knife is going to attack back, and you can see the spray all over the front of the bonnet of Mad Knife there. That's how difficult it is for these cars and these drivers this evening in these wet conditions. As soon as you start trying to apply the slip streaming, you just get a face full of water, and it makes life really, really difficult as the wind starts throwing the water all over the place this evening. So we will just stay on board with this battle now as Mad Knife is trying to attack back here. Has he got the legs to try and push Berserker to try and snap at 5th place position in the Series B racing? There's only one way we can find out, and that's by staying on board with this race. The time between them is closing down, so let's see who's cleaner in this little corner. Excuse me, nice and clean from them both as we hit the first straight. So the gap has opened up between them two now, but remember, Berserker in 13th place has a 10-second penalty to his overall time. So that could play havoc to the overall standings. So just a couple of seconds separates them at the moment. But in theory, Mad Knife is in 14th place because of the penalties that will be applied to Berserker. But it's always nice to finish on merit in your places as well if you can get the overtake there. But really solid racing from Berserker there to fend off the attacks from Mad Knife. So wow. There we go, more action for you guys at home. So, T-Mac in first, Don Titor in second, Seb in third. We've got Rob in fourth, Cheeky One Smack in fifth, Roy Klops in sixth, Johnny One Note in seventh, Callie in eighth, to close up the pack for the Class A races. Looking ahead to the Class Bs, although it looks like we might have a crash here, and we do. Cheeky One Smack has binned it into the wall. So he's currently in 6th place, so we did have he's not managed to get around that corner very well at all, and we joined him there in a wall. So I think he tried to attack Roy Klops in 5th, but obviously that attack did not go well at all. So yes, just as we were trying to say there, so we've just gone through Class A. And Cheeky One Smack really not coping well with the wet here, and he's all over the track. Which should give Johnny One though. I mean, he's quite far behind at the moment, but yes, he is pitting by the looks of it. So Cheeky One Smack is going to pit here, or at least just pull over on the side of the road. Not quite sure what's happening there from Cheeky One Smack, but it will give Johnny One Note the chance to pull in. He is a little bit of movement there. So Johnny One Note, yes, really clean overtakes. I'm not quite sure what's happening with Cheeky One Smack, but it wasn't a pit, he's just pulled over and waited, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but it did give people the opportunity to overtake with ease. So after all that, let's see if we can go through the Class B standings overall. So Wallen Sokjay well and truly ahead in the Class B at the moment, with Mr. Salt in second. We have YX in third, we have Invertigo in fourth, Berserker in fifth, Mad Knife in sixth, Raisin in seventh, and Autistic Deer closing up the field in eighth place position. So there we go, that's how the two packs sit themselves at the moment. But wow, we are getting a message here, and the race marshals told him to give up his spot. Yes, maybe because of the crashes and things, that might have been the case. But thank you for joining us this evening here for this Le Mans vintage race. We're on board with Wallen Sokjay, who is currently top of the leaderboard, but looks like we might have a battle down here. No, we don't. See, that's a bit of a oh, we did have a battle, and Raisin was miles off the track, so unlucky there. But yeah, thank you for joining us for this vintage Le Mans race. We've certainly seen thrills and spills so far. We've seen cars going backwards, sideways, and we've got a crash there in front. We have a crash there in front, which should give Raisin the opportunity to take over Mad Knife with ease, and he does. So it was a mistake from Mad Knife, binned it into the side, and unfortunately loses sixth place position to Raisin, Snell, Freddy. So again, we see these mistakes in these cars. The cars are so powerful, they maneuver so well, but at the same time, because of the power they bring to the table and the conditions we're seeing here this evening, they're really, really difficult for our drivers to contend with. So we've seen mistakes. I mean, it's hard to even remember the mistakes this evening, but we do just have to jump on board here with an overtake. So we've got Cheeky One Smack overtaking Johnny One Note, who's all over the track and spins it. Johnny One Note spins it. Is he going to get in the way? No, he doesn't quite get in the way of the car behind him. But again, another mistake. But Mad Knife is going to attack again here. You see these yellow exclamation marks that pop up. That lets me know at home that we do have a potential overtake going. So whenever you see those pop up, I do always try and jump straight on board with the action where possible. But wow, sometimes we don't even get there quick enough, because these cars are difficult to handle and mistakes happen so quickly. But we have managed to catch most of the action. So Sin City in the chat says these cars are hard to keep in a straight line. You're correct, definitely correct. You know, we're just on board with Mad Knife now, and you know, just even down the straights you can see people weaving around. You know, a little tiny nudge on the steering wheel at home and it does send these cars all over the track. So you know, it could be a lot of fun to race for sure, but certainly adds a bit of difficulty to proceedings as well. So yes, let's see how the battle for first and second is in the Class B. So a really healthy gap, you know, over a minute now, Wallen Sokjay in the Class B. So it's some really good driving from them this evening. It is going to take something major to give Mr. Salt the opportunity to take first place in the Class Bs, but he'll be happy so far with second place, but there's still 13 minutes remaining, so anything could happen here for the rest of the race. But stay on board with us here for Noob Gamers Live on Twitch, as we bring you all the action live to your phones, to your tablets, to your TV screens, however you're watching this tonight. Once again, we really appreciate you joining us, as Mr. Salt just bins it straight into side. You know, you look at that and he's got no pressure around him at all. There's no cars anywhere near him applying any sort of pressure to him, and yet we're still seeing, you know, people just making really basic errors, you have to say, because the cars are really difficult to handle. So it really does show you in these conditions as well how difficult a time these racers are having this evening. Don Tito has gone in the pits now, which gives T-Mac the opportunity to open up a decent time, but we may well yet see an opportunity for Don Tito to come back in, as T-Mac may well pit towards the back end of the race. Whew, so yes, Wallen is 10 seconds a lap faster. Honestly, he's done the maths for me and no damage. So yeah, doing really well there. Wallen Sokjay in 9th place at the moment. And you know, you've got to say, although he's got a slower car, his overall time is a lot longer than the Class A's. But you look at that fastest lap times, and you know, he's clocking up some really solid fastest lap times there. 3:45, which is faster than some of the Class A's have managed to put down so far. So some really impressive driving there from Wallen Sokje, as Mr. Salt is going to have an overtake here from one of the Class A's. Looks like T-Mac, although the liveries are quite similar this evening. I haven't quite made a note of all the numbers, as I probably should have done before the race, but again, nice bit of sportsmanship there. Good use of the lights by both sets of drivers to make sure that pass was nice and clean. So another driver's going into the pits now, as we see Rob 3 going to pits. We're just going to stay on board here for the full pit stop for Rob 3, just as we... No, we're not going to stay on board for the full pit stop. We've learnt our lesson from last time. That would be dull as dishwater. So we're on board with Don Titor. He's outside of the pits now. He's back on the track. Seb had the opportunity to take second place while he was in there. So he now has a battle on his hands to wrestle back one of the top 2 positions. Can he do it? He has 38 minutes remaining to do so, which is plenty of time, and we could well see some pit stops from the top 2 races anyway, so that could open the door for Don Titor to catch up further on. Wow, one of the Class Bs is just smashed into the side. That was just going, and again smashed into the side. So, I mean, these cars, I might have to make, wow, what have we seen here? Wallen Sokje in the Class Bs. Callie's obviously made a massive error there, because Wallen Sokje in a Class B car has got himself up into the pack of the Class A's, which just shows how well Wallen Sokje is driving this evening. I mean, surely it's a matter of time before Callie catches up in the superior car, but Wallen Sokje having an absolute stormer in the Class Bs this evening, and is actually one ahead of the Class A racers, which is really, really impressive. But you can see the time here from Callie chipping away all the time. So as I said, it is only a matter of time before it catches up. But some really, really good driving from Wallen Sokje overall, which for the races in Class B, they've got a really hard task on their hand to catch up Wallen Sokje there in first place. So unless something major happens, we'd have to say Wallen Sokje is sewn up the Class B leaderboard. But 26 minutes remaining, who knows? We maybe might see a huge crash and it might put Wallen Sokje out of it. We shall see. But yes, Odyssey, as you said, some really good times being put down across the field. 3 minutes 26 from Seb, only a second or so off the pace from T-Mac in terms of fastest lap. So, and wow, there we go. Seb's put a 3:23 down, takes the fastest lap there. So Seb on absolute fire this evening in his car. The only crash that helps Salty is a PC crash. You may well be right there, but there's still time. But Callie still hasn't. I'm not sure what's going on with Callie. I imagine Callie's got, must have some damage or must have something going on. Wow, as they go off the track again and another spin. Okay, I think that might sum up what the issues are. I can only imagine Callie hasn't taken the opportunity to go in the pits, because down the straights, obviously, Callie does have much more pace. But here we go, we see another Class B racer just fly past Callie there. So Callie having an awful time so far. If they haven't got the wet tyres on, surely they've got to get themselves in the pits and get that sorted, because, really, there's no way Callie should be behind a Class B racer. But, it's happened, so fair play to the racers involved. So we've got Invertigo jumping themselves in the pits to sort some bits and bobs out. As we can see, the drivers there whacking on some new tyres, sorting things out there for Invertigo. But we'll jump on board with Seb. So Seb's put the fastest lap down this evening. He's only just done in the last few minutes a really, really good 3:23 in the wet, which is just unbelievable. But yes, as you said, Fred, the standing water is causing some real issues for some of the cars so far. But even so, you think a Class A racer would be up there. But as we see Seb just hold on to the car there really, really nicely. There's still time, obviously, for the standing water to clear, with only 24 minutes remaining. I don't think the rain is set to continue for the entirety of the rest of the race, but we shall see. Thank you for joining us this evening, Sim. would say enjoy work, but who enjoys work? But really appreciate you joining us here this evening for the race, and enjoy the rest of your evening, as I need to take a well-earned sip of drink at this stage. They were doing 3 flats. Okay, fair enough. Fair play. But you've still got to say, Odyssey, a 3:23 in the wet is very, very impressive from the races here. I mean, I certainly couldn't do it, put it that way. So we're on board with Seb H. So the grid has certainly calmed down in the last 5 to 10 minutes. There's less opportunities for us to see some overtaking at the moment, although I'm sure that will change as we go towards the end of the race, with people needing to do pit stops and sorting their cars out. Because we have to say, the opening part of that race was truly chaotic. As I said earlier on, we had cars upside down at one point, being smashed to left, right and centre. So yeah, there we go. I think it shows the last lap. Yeah, definitely. Abby shoved it in her handbag down the pub. Can't remember what I said now. Seb H takes a spin. Are we going to see a little bit of a crash here? No, not quite. But obviously a nice little batter going down this straight. I don't think the 2 cars are next to each other in any stretch of the imagination. I wonder if we're on board with... no, Callie's in the pits. I wonder which car we're on board with there. Yeah, it was Johnny One Note, so miles behind at the moment, but in and around Seb there after the spin, just putting a little bit of pressure on just to make life interesting. But it does look like Callie's come out of the pits now, so I can only imagine they've had the opportunity to sort some tyres out. That's a big glass mirror. Well, yes, bit of San Miguel glass here. As a non-drinker myself, we have the glasses at home. They're very good to drink out of, but I just use them for high quality H2O. As we see a massive crash there, and I don't know who that is. It's not Mr. Salt. Who's driving the red B cars? Obviously, we've been focusing our attentions. It was Mad Knife, all over the track this evening. Let's just check on the penalties that we've got this evening. So Callie's got a 10-second penalty. It's 10-second penalty for Berserker, and in Vertigo with a 10-second penalty as well. So people towards the the topper end of the Class Bs with some penalties for they must have been the people causing the issues earlier on. That looks like vodka to me. Well, I'm afraid it's not. But nice try. Nearly caught me at Grey Goose. Yeah, imagine if I was just there, full on bottle of Grey Goose. So we're on board with Mad Knife, who took a spinner. He's just going to get overtaken by a Class A racer as we speak. The difference in the car times between the two are incredible. We've got Autistic Deer in the pits, in last place at the moment, but taking the opportunity to get their car sorted for the remainder of the race. So let's jump on board with the cockpit of Mad Knife. You can still see the rain coming in a little bit, not quite as heavy as it was earlier. Obviously the darkness is lifting now, as we've gone through nearly the full day to night cycle, which is a really nice feature of the game, just to liven things up for the races here that are taking part in this. But with the rain slowly starting to fade away now, we might see the track start to dry up, and the standing water may start to clear. But with only 20 minutes left of the race, I wonder whether there's the time for it to fully clear. But there's only one way to find out. And School Bus joins us here this evening. Good evening, School Bus. How are you? Welcome to the stream, as we are just 20 minutes away from the end of this Le Mans vintage race. And we've had it all going off this evening. We've had crashes, we've had people upside down, we've had cars driving backwards. It's been all kicking off. I would heavily recommend, if anyone gets the opportunity, to watch the stream back afterwards, just to see how it's all been going down. But yeah, thank you for joining us this evening. So let's have a look around the rest of the track and see what's cooking. So Seb H in second place, Don Titor now in third, but as we suspect, there might still be some pit stops to come into play, so it should give Don Titor the chance to take up a higher place position. Rob 3, a really solid race from him this evening. Now, we've seen him a lot on the Thursday stream. We know he's got it in the locker to be a fast racer, but often has a moment of madness, gets himself involved in a few crashes, and we have seen him leave races through to ye olde heads gone. Now remember, if you are a subscriber to the channel, thanks to Twitch Prime, or whether it's you're actually putting your money where your mouth is, which would be mental. Why would you ever spend money on this? But if you do, fair play. You can, of course, use the heads gone emote as Rob 3, just as I was saying, he's a good racer, smashes into the boards. I'm told Callie is gone, although we can still see them on the track. I wonder whether that was a crash Odyssey was alluding to. But they're certainly still on the track so far. But as we said, the heads gone emote there is for the subscribers to use. As Callie gets another spin, so Callie really struggling in this car here this evening. Mr. Salt is up to 9th place round Callie as well. Even though they're in the Class Bs, Callie having an absolutely torrid time in the Class A and simply cannot keep the car in a straight line round any corner at all. There we go, good corner there from Callie. So it will be a wonder to see where Callie ends up finishing. I mean, they're 30 seconds behind Mr. Salt, who, I say, in the Class B racer, we've seen down the main straight, it's 40 miles an hour difference between the two cars, 30 seconds overall, roughly a lap. So I mean, Callie really should be catching up, but if they can't keep the car on the straight and narrow, then you know, there's no opportunity there for Callie to catch up. But you know, you can just see by watching this at the moment, the time really chips away. You know, a second is just fading away from Mr. Salt down these straights as Callie gets the opportunity to put the burners on. But if they can't keep the track on the road, then no overtaking is going to be possible. So we got to keep our eyes firmly across the entirety of the standings this evening, because pit stops could come into play towards the back. And as Callie, I mean, that's even down a straight, and Callie has lost it. Just trying to break there into this corner. You can just see how difficult these cars are to handle. And you know, Callie having a horrible time. But as Trevor Hump says, the slower car might handle better, yes, for sure. But you know, the pace of the Class A cars, really, you know, the 40 miles an hour difference at the top end, you really think you should be staying ahead of them. But hey, well done to Mr. Salt and Wallen Sockjay in 8th and 9th, who currently are further up the leaderboard than the Class A racer. So well done. As Callie goes off again, we might just have to stay on board for this and smash into the walls up the sides as Callie goes. So yeah, all over the track this evening from Callie. So let's see how Mr. Salt is faring. Got a Class A racer coming up behind them now. So Seb has pitted. So we've got Don Titor now coming up behind Mr. Salt. So we'll stay on board with Don Titor as he attempts to try and take over Seb. Seb's still getting his tyres sorted, although he is going to leave quite shortly. So Don Titor is slowly chipping away at the times. Can he make a catch up here? So Seb's still in the pits as Don Titor starts catching now. Down this straight, Seb's still there, though he is moving out now. But I think Don Titor will overtake, and yes, he does. So really good racing there from Don Titor to make sure that pit stop counted for him. But Seb loses second place position because a pit stop was required, and Don Titor gets second place back with ease there. So really good tactics from Don Titor, you have to say. Chose to use the pit stop earlier because, you know, these Class A cars can't get all the way around the track without pitting. So chose to go earlier, use the time afterwards to put in some solid race laps and gets second place back there from Seb H. So T-Mac in first and now Don Titor in second as Seb makes the move to finish off the race the last 14 minutes having already pitted. So well done. So yes, as we were trying to allude to earlier, we've got to keep on board with the rest of the standings just to see if any pit stops come into play. Good question, Trevor Hump. That is a very good question. I think that he has. I'm fairly sure T-Mac has pitted already. But we will obviously keep an eye on that for the rest of the race, because if he hasn't, it gives Don Titor a little open door to try and attack, as Wallen Sotjay does enter the pits now, top of the class B leaderboard, but has a really hefty lead. So Cali has actually taken off Mr. Salt, but yeah, you can see the difference between them, over a minute now. So I don't think Mr. Salt is going to have the opportunity to take that over. But Seb all over the road into that corner. But let's just check out the race penalties, because I think we do have a penalty on Seb H. Yes, we do. So 10-second penalty there for Seb H, which will make a difference for Rob 3 when it comes to the final race standing. So there's 5 seconds split in them at the moment, but Seb with a 10-second penalty should mean that Rob, assuming the times stay similar to what they are at the moment, actually does finish the race in a higher position. And I'm looking at the... Getting tired now, ladies and gents, getting tired. I'm looking at the fastest lap standings. That's not what I should be looking at. It's actually a minute difference between them. So that 10 seconds is going to make no difference at all. Wow, yes. I mean, my concentration levels are starting to fall off a cliff, as you can see by that last part of commentary. So I can only imagine what it's doing to the racers out there who have to try and contend with some concentration levels for the entirety of the race. So fair play to these guys. 75-minute race overall, only 12 minutes left remaining, and they're still doing really well. So we're on board with Roy Klops. He has made a really good move to try and push up the leaderboard. He is going to have an opportunity potentially to attack Johnny Wunno. Just a second between them, so after all this racing, only just over a second splits the two races at the moment. So we're going to just keep an eye on this battle for the next few moments to see if anything happens with these two drivers. But yes, thank you, Trevor Hump. I will of course try and get the way through this race without losing my head completely. But yeah, it's been tough work keeping on board with everything, especially trying to keep up the chat for you guys at home, so we can keep an eye on what's going in the race. But yeah, Roy Klops unfortunately doesn't quite have the pace to make a pass on Johnny Wunno as the time moves out to 3 seconds between them. But you can simply see, we've had 75 minutes of racing, and it's amazing to me that we've still got races that are so close. So the skill levels between the guys, is really similar, which makes it fantastic for us at home, because we could still have some battles going into the closing stages of this race. But yeah, once again, thank you for joining us here on Noob Gamers Live for this 75-minute vintage Le Mans race, which has given us lots of thrills and spills, and we can only hope for some more into the closing stages here. As Roy Klops goes really wide there and spins right in front across one of the racers and goes flying in the air. Roy Klops spun so many times there. Wow. Unbelievable scenes here on the track as Roy Klops completely loses it and flies through the air. Wow. But we have got a move going down in 5th place to 4th. Both drivers are all over the shop. We've got a complete standstill. Raz, and we've got him reversing into someone else, and he's up on his side. Berserker's up on his side. He's going to right himself now. Wow, so Berserker was going to try and make a move on Raz there, but Berserker had to stop for some reason, which meant he got smashed into when he tried to reversing back, and it's all gone wrong for Berserker there, who thought he might have had an opportunity to attack. But wow, that is what can happen with these cars this evening. They are unbelievably quick and nimble, but one crash and they go flying. So here's a replay there of Berserker reversing into a car and getting sent flying. Just manages to stay out of the way of the cars around. We've got replay on replay. Wow, that's a spectacle. Replay on replay. I like that. Wow, yeah, you can see that crash there from earlier, and Berserker making a crash there. Wow. So replay on replay. Unbelievable scenes. Odyssey, yes. Lots of racers who are joining us live here this evening have said they are disappointed to have missed out here, because yes, these cars look fantastic. So, let's see what these last few stages bring us, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine if we bring it onto a Thursday's race. Although the NASCAR on Thursday is going to be something else. But yeah, wow, crazy. So, let's see how the standings look at the moment. So we got T-Mac still in first. We got Don Tito in second, Seb in third, Rob 3 and 4, Johnny One Note in fifth, Roy Klops in sixth, Cheeky One Smack in seventh, Wallen Sock J in eighth, Callie 9th, Mr. Salt 10th, YX in 11th, Raisin in 12th, Invertigo 13th, Berserker in 14th, Mad Knife in 15th, and Autistic Deer in 16th. Wow, so just over 8 minutes left. As people are saying in the chat, Thursday is going to be another crazy race as we head over to the USA for some NASCAR racing. Again, an endurance race on Thursday night, but NASCAR, although it's just a circle, wow, those cars can go fast, and there is sure to be some smashes up and down the track. So if you're around Thursday night, please join us live for that as we bring you all the action for some NASCAR on Thursday. But currently we're on board with Berserker, who had a smash earlier in the race for this vintage Le Mans 75-minute endurance race, which has been thoroughly enjoyable so far. So let's head back up to the top end of the grid as we're on board now with Don Tito, who's in second place position, currently 42 seconds behind T-Mac in first, so he's got a long way to go if he's got an opportunity to catch up T-Mac here, but I for one can't remember if T-Mac has already made a pit at this stage of the competition, but with only 7 minutes remaining, I'd like to think that he does, and I have a vague recollection that he has already. But of course there's only one way we'll find out, and that's by staying on board with this race all the way to the end and seeing what transpires. So yes, Don Tito, the track is cleared really nicely. The standing water seems to have gone from most parts of the track as well. Obviously the rain is cleared, the night is cleared, and we're back to how we started the race. Nice and clear. Hopefully the guys out there have got the right tyres on for the last few stages of the race, because if they haven't, we could have all sorts going on. But Seb in third place, we're just going to jump on board with him quickly. He's only 5 seconds behind Don Tito in second. We saw the pace that Seb brought to the table, and you can see the difference in the lap times at the moment. Don Tito with a 3:16 on the last lap, with Seb with a 3:07, so nearly 10 seconds difference in lap time. So Seb, if he carries on racing the way he is, and Don Tito carries on with the racing that he's bringing to the table, with only 6 minutes remaining, we could see Seb have an opportunity to try and really attack second place at the moment. So we'll stay on with... Oh, blimey! Wow! As we come round the corner, the camera flicks to Don Tito, who is on his back, it looks like. Don't know what happened there, but Seb takes the easy overtake as people are sending Don Tito all over the place. But wow, the camera flicks over and we've got a car in the middle of the road and we've got people smashing into him all over the place. I mean, how do you even explain that? I mean, let's look at the replay now. So we were on board with Seb, and we just come round the corner, and yeah, there's a car in the middle of the road and just sends him flying up. And it's unbelievable scenes here for this Le Mans race. I mean, right to the death. We've got mistakes happening and cars being smashed into. And yes, we have seen he's retired from the race now. So with just over 5 minutes remaining, we've seen someone retire from the race. Don Tito's called it a day. A massive heads gone moment there. I'd love to have been on board with Don Tito to even understand what happened there. Maybe we can get some reaction after the race to see what happened. But yeah, as the camera flicked onto that corner there, he was on his back. And Seb makes the smash into him. Wow. So started with 22 races. We're just down to 15 now if people have dropped out throughout the race for a variety of reasons. We've had people's PCs crashing. We've had people on their back getting smashed into like that. So as I said, a variety of reasons why people have left the race this evening. But wow, straight the way, all the way through this race, we've seen some action here, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining us live on Twitch, and I hope you've enjoyed this race as much as I have this evening. So let's have a flick around the rest of the track and see what we've got. So Roy Klopp's in 5th. We've got Cheeky One Smack in 6th. Woolen Sock Jays made their way up to 8th position in the B class. Really solid racing there, with Callie over a minute behind now. So it looks like Woolen Sock Jay, if they continues at this pace and Callie continues at their pace, that we could see quite a surprising finish to the race with a Class B ahead of a Class A. But say just over 3 minutes left to see what happens there. Missed Assault down in 9th. We've got YX who's just about to be overtaken by a Class A there, so really solid racing from a Class A. We got Raisin Snell Freddy down in 11th. We got Invertigo who's all over the shot. What a time to join Invertigo. Casually flicking through the grid, and Invertigo is in the air. And it looked like a car in front was also all over the place as well. So wow, we're going to get a replay of that on the stream now, but just as we flick over there, let's see if we can get this replay. That was unbelievable. I don't know whether you just saw the message there, which just popped up in the bottom right hand corner from Don Tito there. Just one word, beginning with F, ending with K. There we go, we see the spin from Invertigo there. Unbelievable. I don't think Don's a very happy camper. So as we continue to go down the grid, although we do have a spin there, is it going to cause any havoc? No, it's not. I'm going to have a guess and say that was Callie, yes. So it was Callie. Again, spinning all over the shop. We've got Class Bs in and amongst it with Class As at the moment. So Callie really should have the pace on this Class B going down this line here. But anyway, where were we? So Berserker in 13th place. Let's just stay with this for the time being, just to see what happens here. Because we could get one faster car coming down the inside. So it's nice and clean there. But we know Callie into the corners isn't the cleanest. So I just want to stay on board with this for a moment to see what happens. Because as I say, Berserker might be able to capitalise on a little mistake here. Obviously it doesn't affect the standings, but it certainly gives us some interesting viewing for you guys at home, with cars flipping over left, right and centre. So no, it doesn't look like we're going to get anything, although it's nice and tight going into this corner now. We've got people going into the pit, so Callie's all over the road and smashes into the barriers, which is going to leave that in the middle of the road for someone to hit later on in the race. Let's see if we can find out who, and it's quite difficult to see. I want to see someone smash that bollard out of the way, but we might have lost the opportunity to see it now. Oh, I think Rob 3 was it, and he's just missed it. Oh, unlucky. So Johnny One Note is going to get the next opportunity. I know it's really childish, but let's see if we can stay on board with Johnny One Note and see if he can avoid that in the car. But we've been alerted to some action lower down the grid as Berserker's making a last push on 5th place in the Class B. So Callie in amongst it with them as well. So it's going to cause some chaos for all the drivers there. So Berserker, we jump on board with Chase Cam. Still a little bit of water in the track. Callie comes across, smashes it, Berserker out of the way. Berserker goes into the back of him, and Berserker's all over the track. Berserker's all over the track. I think Invertigo's managed to get through. He has. But Callie causing all sorts of problems lower down the grid with some erratic driving there. As Berserker goes for the overtake and gets smashed all over the park by Callie smashing into Invertigo. Invertigo gets away with that there as we see a car. So we're just going to see the replay here. So wow. So we're on board with Berserker. I'm going to try and keep an eye on both. And Callie comes across. We got a smashing Berserker and he goes all over the shop. So wow. We are going to jump back on board with T-Mac now as the race clock is ended. So it's the procession lap from T-Mac. Really good driving from T-Mac. So 52 seconds in the lead. But As we say, ladies and gentlemen, all the way into the closing stages of this race, because of the A-B split we've got between the different cars, it is causing some chaos out there for the drivers. Berserker's going to be really, really unhappy with the driver from Cali there, because we thought Berserker was going to make a last move on him, Vertigo, for that 5th place position, but won't get the opportunity because of the errors that Cali's throwing about all over the place on the track. Which certainly makes it interesting for us here in the studio. I sort of wish that was vodka now. So T-Mac into the closing stages of the lap. You can still see that tiny little bit of water on the track. Nice and smooth there. So, I mean, it's going to take an absolute miracle for anyone to catch T-Mac here. So all he's got to do is bring the car in home, and that should secure him the 1st place podium position on what has been a action-packed Le Mans. As we said earlier on in the stream, there's me sat at home thinking our 75-minute race, it'll all open itself out and there'll be nothing for the majority of the race. But how wrong could I have been? We've had action, smashes, thrills and spills throughout the entirety of the race. But we do need to just stay on board with T-Mac, just to give him his fair dues. You know, rightly a really strong winner of this race. 50 seconds in the lead at the moment. So we just want to watch T-Mac cross the finish line and give a nice little round of applause and a big well done to T-Mac for finishing the race. So he's managed to keep himself out of all the crazy battles that have been going all over the shop. I'm just keeping an eye on the timers to see if there's going to be any last minute pushes. And Vertigo isn't too far behind Raz in 11th place, but I don't think they're going to have the time left to do it. So here comes T-Mac round the last few corners of the track. And well done. So if we can have a nice round of applause on the chat for T-Mac as he crosses the line here. Well done to T-Mac. Race complete. There it is, confirmation of T-Mac's 1st place position. Well done. No roughneck, but still loving this race. Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Mortis. Good racing by all indeed. So T-Mac takes the checkered flag in 1st place. Seb H currently in 2nd place. He does have some penalties attached to his name, but it's not enough to give Rob 3, who, yes, ladies and gentlemen, has finished the race. Yeah, I think he's finished the race. Just sort of chilling there. What's going on with Rob 3? It says race complete, but obviously you've got to go over the... imagine how many would finish if damage was on. Exactly that. Yeah, it would be absolutely crazy. I'm sort of wondering what's happened here with Rob 3. Johnny One Note, as you can see, the times are closing in. So Rob 3 is basically stopped in the middle of the track. So I wonder if he's got some issue going on. He's been lapped. Yeah, we know that. But Johnny One Note is... yeah, not quite sure what's happened there. The timings are a bit all thrown out all over the place. But Rob 3, it seems to be like he has finished in 3rd place position. Although Johnny One Note's timings seem different. But hey ho! It's been a thoroughly enjoyable race. So Wallen Sokjay, a rightful winner of the Class B, even beating a Class A car, which is an incredible achievement in the slower cars. Mr. Salt takes 2nd place. We got YX in 3rd of the Class Bs, Raz in 4th, Vertigo 5th, Mad Knife in 6th, and Autistic Deer in 7th place. So T-Mac 1st, Seb 2nd, Rob 3 3rd, Johnny One Note in 4th, Roy Klops in 5th, Cheeky One Smack in 6th. And down in 7th place, Cali still causing problems by the looks of it. Lower down the track, can't keep it on the track at all. So we might see some last minute changes. But well done to everyone. Unbelievable, Jeff, indeed. It was a fantastic race for us to watch here at home. But yeah, 2nd in B class. Really, really well done for Mr. Salt there. Wow, so just a few moments remaining left of the race overall, but Cali, I'm just going to stay on board with this because Cali's trying to race the Class Bs here. Obviously has the pace, but We've seen all sorts of mistakes from Callie chucked into the mix here. So just as we go down this little straight here, we're just going to see if we can get anything clean. And both cars spin out. And Callie gets the little nudge on there. So absolutely all over the shop, which, for the racers must have been quite frustrating. But for me here in the studio and you guys at home, we have to thank Callie for some incredible racing this evening, which has given us lots of thrills and spills for you guys to watch at home. It's been simply fantastic. So the closing stage of the race now. Berserker says, bye guys, sorry for the incidents. Very bad race on his part, so taking some of the blame there for some of the incidents we did see, and we did see a lot of them throughout the race. So certainly I will try and find some time in the week to pull together a highlights package from this race, because I certainly, for one, want to look back on those moments and just see all the thrills and spills that we had. So yes, the chat is starting to liven up on the Steam chat after that race, as people start to digest exactly what went on. But as T-Max just said there in the bottom right, it was great fun in the opening stints. We saw some incredible racing from T-Mac and Don Tita overall. They were overtaking each other, it seemed, every few minutes, which certainly made for fantastic viewing for us here in the studio. So we're going to see, you guys are probably going to get a little insight to what's happening on the chat there, which is going to be good. But yes, well done to all the racers. Thank you for the commentary, Walker Socje, no problem, my friend. Really solid race from you there. Trevor Hump, is that aimed at me? And if it is, yes. Yes, that was hard to keep up with, but I've got to give full credit to the racers who have actually needed the concentration for the entirety of that to keep on board. I mean, I'm just sat here watching the race, talking to you guys, but wow, 75 minutes flew by, and it was really exciting. So here we go. We should have final confirmation of the places. T-Mac takes the golden crown in first place. Let's see if we can save a couple of replays of this. So we've got those logged. So yeah, T-Mac in first, Seb H second, Rob 3 third, Johnny 1 Note fourth, Roy Klops fifth, Cheeky 1 Smack sixth, Rollin Sock J seventh, Callie in eighth, and we got Mr. Saltdown in ninth, Razan Snell Freddy in 10th, and YX in 11th, Mad Knife in 12th, Autistic Deer in 13th place. So well done to all the racers there. Let's just check on the A class. Oh, we've lost it there, so I think the lobby's been closed. But let's head back to the studio as we simply digest all the action there. I mean, that was incredible overall. We had people flying off the track all over the place. I, for one, myself, massively enjoyed that race overall. Hopefully you guys did at home. We might even be getting the drivers joining us on the chat to give their feedback in the channel, but we will try and jump in and have a word with some of the racers. We've still got a few of them in their various team chats, so we are going to try and jump in and speak to the winner, who was T-Mac overall. T-Mac, are you with us?
Whew. Yes, I am, sir.
Good. Wow, how was that?
Oh, that was one of the most ridiculous, stressful, insane races I've ever done. Yeah, just so much fun. Was so intense, like so much concentrating.
Yep.
Lapping cars was as bad as I thought it was going to be, but a really good challenge. The rain was ridiculous. Yeah, but so much fun.
Lots of fun. That battle between you and Don Tita at the start, we were on board of it for a long time before the mistakes started creeping in and the gaps started livening up. But just talk us through how intense that is for you guys actually racing that.
It's just, yeah, it's one of those. It's not as stressful as like a sprint race, because I think we both know, don't go nuts because you've got like an hour left.
Yep.
So, but it's that knowing, like, just one mistake and it just sets you back sort of so far. Oh, it was so good. I mean, the first lap, I don't know if you caught it on the stream, was an absolute mess from about everyone's point of view. But no, yeah, it's so good when you get clean racing, which is what we're after. And you then start racing intense and you're just following each other. He had ridiculous straight line speed. He just blasted past everyone, it seemed. It's what makes this game and just sim racing like so much fun. So good.
Exactly right. And you say clean racing. Now, obviously, you only had the luxury of seeing what you could see during the race. Now, as far as clean racing goes, if you get the opportunity to watch the stream back, I would suggest that it perhaps wasn't as clean as you might have thought it was for the entirety. I mean, we saw cars upside down. We saw cars driving backwards. We saw cars sideways. It all went off. I mean, we even had one moment where the camera switched to a corner and there was just a car in the middle of the road upside down. It was these cars and these conditions that were thrown at the races this evening certainly livened up the whole race and made for a great spectacle. But for you guys actually racing it, when it goes from light to dark, the rain hits in, it must have added another layer of complexity.
Oh, it's just, it's because obviously I set the race up, and it's one of the things that it makes Project Cars, I think, one of the best sims out there, because the weather effects and the day-night cycle was incredible.
Yep.
And you can't quite see where puddles are forming, and then you suddenly catch a puddle, and you're on the edge. And these cars, because they don't have wet tires, I don't know if other people may have tried to go to the all-terrain tires, but these just have track tires.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed on the same set from dry to wet, back to dry, and they go cold, and you're trying to push as much as you can, and it's just those finding the limits. And sometimes I think, it sounds like everyone went over the limits pretty much at least 5 times.
Yeah.
But you try and balance it as best you can. But great race.
It was great overall, certainly. I mean, we're just seeing some of the chats that are going on between the races in the stream chat at the moment. And there were all sorts of things going on throughout the race. As I said, we had cars all over the place. But overall, for me in the studio, people watching at home, I think the combination that you put together for this evening's race certainly made for an exciting spectacle. And I can only hope all the racers enjoyed it.
Yeah, hopefully they did. I think obviously it is a long race. It's a tiring race. 75 minutes of concentrating. We did have a few dropouts and retirements. It's to be expected, like in an endurance race in real life.
Yeah.
But that is what we're trying to build. Is that use the game to what it can do. And us as drivers just have to adapt and stay on our toes, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that's overall, there was some really good race. I jest about the cars being upside down, but we did see some really, really good racing throughout, Class A and Class B, which was really good to watch.
Awesome to hear. I am definitely going to watch the stream back as soon as I can.
Yes, I certainly would. But thank you for joining us for a little bit of insight as to how that race was, and thanks again for putting on the race overall.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for streaming it, buddy. I'm sure you did a great job.
I tried my best. It was hard work. It was good, yes. So thank you very much, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, take it easy, man. See you later.
So there we go. That was T-Mac, winner of the race this evening. As he said, thrills, spills, clean racing, not clean racing. It was all happening this evening. But thank you for joining us at home for what was an amazing race. One of my favourite races we've done on the stream so far. As I keep saying it. I thought to myself, what am I going to expect this evening? 75 minutes, vintage cars, long straights. I was thinking, that should be really good opportunity for people to open up some big gaps, and I'm going to have to do a lot of filler and talk about lots of stuff just to fill some time, really. But that wasn't the case at all. Throughout the whole 75 minutes, we had crashes, we had people spinning off, we had mistakes, we had then the weather coming in and causing some problems. We had the Class A's interlinking with the Class B's, and then the Class B's trying to really race against the Class A's when the time was right. So full on action throughout the whole stream there this evening. I hope you guys at home enjoyed it. Obviously, let us know in the chat what you thought of the race overall if you're still in there with us. But yeah, fantastic. So we're just going to see some of the comments. So Trevor Hump says yes, it was a tough race. Wallen Sokje said it was a fun race overall. Great race there from Odyssey. Dr. Mortis was a great race. Would have liked some damage. Imagine that with damage. That would have been ridiculous. So yeah, overall, I think it's fair to say you guys at home enjoyed that just as much as me. So really, you know, there's only one thing left to say. You know, I'm certainly going to go and get myself a well-deserved sleep after all that craziness. It was fantastic though. But let's have a little vote in the channel this evening. What we try and do at the end of the stream is go and raid another channel just to, you know, share the love in Twitch. If you want to see a raid this evening, put the word raid in the chat, and we'll go and raid someone. If we don't get that in the next few minutes, you know, we'll call that a night. But if you want to go and see us go and raid someone this evening, drop the word raid in the chat, and then we can start going to see if we can find someone to go and raid this evening. So Dr. Mortis first in the chat to say he wants to go and see a raid this evening. Have we got a few more people for the raid? Mr. Salt Gaming's keen for a raid. Let's see who else rears their head to go and have a cheeky little raid this evening. Mad Knife as well wants a raid. So Trevor Hump's got to go to bed. Maybe you can just stick around for the raid. So yeah, I think as you know, even if a few of us want to go raiding, we sure can do that. So let's go and see what we've got available to us to go and raid this evening as I make my way down the Just Viewing channel, Just Chatting channel should I say, because these ones always throw up some interesting people. So again, I'm going to give you two choices. I'm going to put two names out there of who we want to go and see, and let's see if we can have some votes from you guys still with us here live on Twitch to see who we want to go and jump into. So I'm just making my way down now because we always like to try and help out the people with similar viewer levels to us. You know, there's no point in us going to jump into a stream with 10,000 people. Let's go and jump into someone with just a few people. So let's see what we've got in the action down the bottom here. Right then, so let's pick two, and I'll give you guys the opportunity at home to have a vote. So we have this one's for charity, so we are going to give this one up as one. So we have Lazilul GIF, and we have a lady here decorating her Christmas tree for charity. So we'll call that number one. And then number two, we have, let's choose, let's see what else we've got here. There's nothing really that exciting around here, has to be said. Who wants to watch X on the beach? Behave. No, thank you. I mean, to be honest, maybe we'll just give. Let's just do this one. It's charity. We're feeling charitable. It's Christmas, so we're going to go and raid Lazilul GIF. They're decorating their Christmas tree at the moment, and we'll see what they've got going on. So. Once again, thank you for joining us here on the stream. It's been an incredible, emotionally tiring stream overall, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it this evening. To see all that race action there has been just amazing to watch. And as I said, I didn't think we were going to get that this evening with a 75-minute race in prospect. But well done to all the racers who took part in that this evening. Because it was, you know, simply fantastic. We've got someone suggesting to go and see someone in particular. Just going to see what Trevor says. This Dragon Slayer 1988. Let's see if they're live. No, they're currently offline, unfortunately. And it looks like this Christmas tree one might be offline soon as well. We're not getting much luck here tonight on the raid, are we? No, it's back. The Twitch machine got unplugged, so we're not having much luck this evening on a raid, so we might just have to call it a night. Oh no, we are back. So we're going to go to this charity Christmas tree stream this evening. Thank you for joining us here. on Noob Gamers Live. You guys have been fantastic. But it looks like Twitch is giving us some problems, so it looks like we're going to call it a night there. But once again, thank you for joining us here. It's been a really, really good race. Remember, Thursday we're bringing you live NASCAR action from the Noob Gamers Live team again on Thursday, which I'm sure would just be as chaotic as this. We really appreciate all the follows, all the support, all the subscribes we've received this evening. You guys have been fantastic, and hopefully we'll see you again another time soon. So we've been the Noob Gamers. I've been Ryan. I've been bringing you the racing this evening. Thank you for your support. Have a fantastic week ahead. Thank you very much.